Hey everyone, my name's Mike. I go by the name Darth Thrifter. Uh, that's my YouTube name and my eBay store. Um, with all this talk about eBay being broken and whatnot, I decided to look at a couple things and see because I haven't really felt a huge issue with eBay. Now, a little background on me: uh, I'm, I guess, practically brand new in the terms of reselling. Uh, I started reselling January. Made my first sale on January 14th. So that's kind of like when I put my start date. Is my first sale I had. So I don't have anything else to really go on besides, my own experiences. I have no prior eBay experience. I've sold maybe a couple things back in 2010 for the hell of it. But other than that, I'm pretty fresh when it comes to this stuff. Everything I know, I learned through, online YouTube eBayers. I have I guess, a pretty great knowledge base to begin with of what's popular, brands, toys, and I started out probably just like everyone else. We just go to thrift stores. Before I was even reselling, I loved sitting in thrift stores, walking around, looking at stuff. It's like a treasure hunt. You never know, what you're gonna find that day. And I always looked for myself. And one day I saw a video. I forgot who it was. I think it was, to be honest, it was Buried Treasure. I think he's on like TikTok or something, and his video popped up one day, and I was like, man, I can do this stuff. And then I saw a few other videos, and next thing you know, I was watching video after video after video, and I just changed my mentality. Instead of going thrifting for myself, I used that same eye that I had, that things jumped out to me, to find things that I thought people would be interested in. Now, of course, like, I didn't just look at things and go, wow, I bet you that's going to sell on eBay. No, I used the tools that everyone else is using, like the app, scanning stuff, looking at, you know, listings, sell through rates, average sale price. All that stuff's always been part of something I've done because I didn't know any different, because that's kind of how I was taught. And by taught, I mean, stuff I watched. So, in a way, everything that I've ever sourced has been, I don't know, researched. So I was never picking up things that I was worried about selling. Like, I had a feeling it would sell, maybe not at the price that I wanted or thought I could get, but everything I have or had has sold comps. And the only thing that I've changed from the beginning till now is I've changed kind of like, one, average sale price. I kind of want to make it more worth my time, so I try to look for $15 or higher. If I find something around 10 and it sells really good, I'll do it. I just can't help myself. But, you know, if you're having a issue selling and you're just starting, I would look at something like what I'm doing, is small store, which also seems to be what's kind of in right now. And I was in that mentality of, well, if I'm doing this much sales with this many items. If I double that, I should be able to easily double my profits. And that's just not a thing on eBay. I don't necessarily believe eBay's broken. It might have issues, but my stuff still sells while people are struggling. I've had the last like 2 months, probably the best months on eBay since January. This month, a little bit down. It's still selling stuff though, but it's mostly down because it's my fault. I just kind of stopped listing for a while, and my stuff just kept on selling. So I'm not really worried about it. It kind of helped debunk that whole like you got to list or you don't sell. Now, granted, the more you list, the more you have to sell. So technically, sales would maybe go up or you'd sell more. But I kept on selling and I'd stopped listing completely. I think in a span of a month, I stopped listing except for I listed, I think, 8 items and I sold a ton. And I feel like with full time resellers, it might be different because you need to have enough, you know, product to support everything in your life. Well, with me, I'm a part-time reseller. I would love to do it full time. You know, I don't know if I have the full discipline to do it full time, but I just I don't have the ability right now to do it full time. So it supplements a full-time job. And when you do that and you're very picky about what you source, I'm not extremely picky, but I'm picky. I don't just go like half these people in Goodwill that are just filling up their cart like zombies and walking out the door. You know, I look at sell through rates. If there's one sold in the last 90 days, I'm not picking that up. But tons of the stuff I pick up, you can see has great sell through rates. And I'm not even worried about it selling. It's not a matter if, it's just a matter of when. And, take tonight. I listed, I don't know, 6 Briar horses. And, if you've been reselling for a while, Briar horses are very collectible. They have a great following of people on eBay. And me personally, I don't know much about them. I mean, I just know they're worth money. I do my best to try to find the right one and match it with it. And literally, I've listed them all. I've already got multiple watchers, probably a total of 30 views on all 6 of them already within a couple of hours. So it's not broken. Like, those items are being seen. Like, those are high sell through items, those are sought after items. It's the other items. It's just those bread and butter items that kind of just sit around that I don't know. I think the part of reselling that I missed out on is now the part of reselling that is struggling, which has helped me sustain my reselling business all year without even worrying about it. I still suffer the same glitches and other things that people talk about. And I mean, that's like the whole reason I ended up finding, channels like Jeff at Haverhill Sells. I found his channel because he was the only one that was talking about the drop in impressions, and that had me worried. Now, granted, when I look back at it, even though my impressions had dropped immensely, I was still selling stuff. And the one thing I was glad that I didn't do that my friend talked me out of is increasing my promotion rate. I kept it where it is right now. I kept it at 5.1%. And part of me thinks that I don't even need to be at 5.1%. So let me tell you a story about that. So the whole reason I got to 5.1% is I think it was May 19th. I noticed a drastic drop in my promoted impressions just randomly. They just started dropping up leading up to like May 19th. And so like I don't know why, like just like most people, you start to panic. You go, "Oh my gosh, my impressions are falling. People will never see my items. I'm doing so well right now. I got to make sure to keep it going." And so I bumped it up from 2.1 to 5.1. And then, like a light switch, boom, impressions started going off the chart and sales were picking up. So once that happened, I just left it how it was because, if it's not broke, don't fix it. And it's been good ever since. But granted, if I didn't change that, it was a kind of like another, what was that, July 16th when it happened, that last one? It was kind of similar to that where impressions dropped for no reason and I had raised it to 5.1. So, I mean, I wonder if I kept it at 2.1, you know, would I still be doing just as good? The reason I say that is because if you look at page views, my page views particularly, I have almost 50-50 of organic and promoted page views. So an item that, on a given day, I'll get 200 page views. 100 of those are organic, 100 of them are promoted. So my stuff is being seen regardless of promotions. Now, the one thing that has changed, which kind of sucks because, but I figured it into my price point anyways, is as the promotions went up, the items that sold on promoted listings went up too, even though technically the amount of promoted views I got stayed the same. So it makes me think that people would have found it anyways, but because I'm promoting it, that it just kind of defaults to a promoted sale. Because like when I first started promoting stuff, it was probably like 66% of my stuff was organic sales. And then when I bumped it up, it probably switched to 50-50. And then the last 90 days, it's probably like 30% organic purchases and, 70% promoted purchases. So I, who knows? Just like everything else with eBay, can you really trust the numbers? Would I got those sales without it? Who knows? But I was getting sales without promoting. But part of me thought I had to play the game. And now, this far into it, I almost feel like if you stop playing the game, you literally stop playing the game. Like, part of me is afraid, like, hey, what if I turn off all my promotions and just see what happens? You know, well, I could get away with it because I don't live on the the money I get from eBay. But do I really want to do that? I don't know. I think the the hardest thing for a lot of people, and you know, it seems to be the common theme, is a lot of the people that are having big struggles right now are people that have been doing it for a bit and have a larger inventory, maybe a more broad inventory. You know, sell through rate seems to really matter. And I somehow defaulted into that because I didn't have any prior, selling experience. I joined late to the game, which was post COVID, which actually helped. Now, what I would usually do is just continually, tend the crops in a way. Having a smaller store allows you to tend your items much better, and you can go through and randomly lower your items, with revisions. Um, you could send similar, change the price that way, do markdown sales. Um, I've done multiple markdown sales, especially if I know stuff has just sat. Some of my earlier stuff sat for a while, and I've done some markdown sales, and it's really helped immensely. But people are kind of afraid of losing money. But if you source good enough, cheap enough, you're still going to make a lot of money. I I can't speak for many other people, but if I find something for, I don't know, $1, like minimum I'm going to actually sell that for is $10 or higher. If I don't, it's really not worth picking up. If I find something for, $2 to $5, I gotta get at least I gotta get at least 15 to 20 or higher. And it scales like that. And I typically won't pay more than $10 for an item. And if I'm paying $10 for an item, I'm getting a lot in return. And if you're able to source and, if you're going to buy something for $1 and list it for 20 and maybe it sells for 20, you know, be willing to take 15. I don't know. That's just my mentality. I just made a ton of money on an item that, yeah, I could have held out and made $5 more, but, you know, I'm in the money making game, not the wait and hope I make more money waiting game. But, that's just my experience. I have listed throughout my starting in reselling a total of 838 items total. And out of 838 items, I've sold 502 of those items. So my sell through rate of just the items alone that I carry is immense. And that's not like a reflection of anything like I'm doing, I don't believe, besides sourcing good items that have high sell through rates. If I find action figures, I try not to just list single action figures. One, I hate doing it. Two, it's so much easier just to lot up action figures and sell them as a bundle and get rid of them and still make money. If you find a bag of action figures for $2, why not sell them for $20? Just get rid of them, move on from them. Make that profit, move on. So many people are like, yeah, but this one action figure is worth 5, and this one's worth 6, and this one's worth 3, and this one's, yeah, if you want to do that, that's fine. But you're also getting into low average sales point, and you're getting into listing a bunch of low priced items that are going to sit until that one person comes around needing that one action figure. But, you know, I just thought you guys should know that not everyone is having issues. Would I say I'm having issues now? No. My issue is I just got to list a little bit more because I've been lazy. Other than that, I've been rocking and rolling. And I'm sorry other people have been struggling, but I can't say the same for me. Well, anyway, hopefully you enjoyed me rambling on. Found some of this information valuable, or just enjoyed listening to me talk about my business. Uh, Feel free to leave a comment. your experiences, what you're going through, what size store you have, you know, if you enjoyed this video, maybe some other things you want to know about me or my business or things I sell. I appreciate you watching if you're still here watching it. And yeah, maybe I'll make some more of these. Let me know how you like it. And, leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe if you want. I might make more, like I said. We'll see. All right. Have a good night.